Hello friends, and welcome to the weekly moon update. In these videos we talk about the moon energy for the current week as well as a little bit of astrology. And we've got some big bright Capricorn full moon energy to talk about this week and a little bit of astrology that maybe we might not be looking forward to. So in today's video's case, we are talking about the week of June 29th through July 5th. So we've got big holiday coming at the end of the week, an explosive holiday at the end of the week, and then we have a big bright full moon first thing at the beginning of the week on Monday. So we've got a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it. Okay, so because the big bright full moon is happening on Monday, that means we have a waning gibbous moon for the entirety of this week, and we'll have our last quarter moon next week. So like I said, starting off this week with this big firework bang, as well as having the traditional firework holiday at the end of the week. So just a lot of really big, vibrant energy happening this week, with the exception of our beloved Mercury going retrograde. This is going to be a really interesting retrograde. I don't know, I've only been following the moon for or astrological stuff very closely for the last 5 years or so. I'm not sure that we've had a Mercury retrograde in the sign of Cancer before, and I think this is going to be a really interesting one, and one that I personally will probably learn a lot of lessons from, because I think that this is probably going to be teaching us more about how we are speaking to ourselves. And how are you communicating your needs to others? How are you taking care of yourself? Cancer wants to take care of us. Mama Cancer, Mother Moon wants to take care of us. And Mercury wants to communicate those things. How can you communicate your needs to other people? And are you communicating your needs to yourself? Are you ignoring the signs and signals that your body is giving you that hey, maybe we need to take a break. Maybe we need to rest, or maybe we should be kinder to ourselves. Maybe we should treat ourselves. How are you communicating to yourself and others in regards to your basic needs, if your basic needs are being met or not? So I think this is going to be a really interesting one, especially as it's kicking off right at the Capricorn full moon. As you can see, the moon is moving into Capricorn at 3:19 p.m. So that means that 3:19 a.m., which means that we are going to be hanging out in the Capricorn full moon energy for what seems like the full 2.5 days. So we're going to be in this Capricorn full moon energy all day Monday and all day Tuesday. The moon is going to start to transition at 7:50 a.m., but it's going to be quite a long transition and will not move into Aquarius until 3:33 p.m. on Wednesday. So Capricorn season is the end of December, beginning of January. It's the start of the new year. This is making the list, making the plans, setting the goals, and accomplishing them. Capricorn helps us accomplish our goals. In the Just a Phase Moon Planner, this is the infamous gold star activity where we are writing down all of the things that we have accomplished this year and putting a gold star on it, because it's so important that when we are making new goals and planning new things, that we are in that vibration of, I can do this, I have accomplished these other things, and so that you're really feeling confident that you can do the things that you set out to do. So Capricorn full moons always occur this time of year, basically like halfway through the year. So it's a nice little check-in to see where you're at, where are your goals, do you need to adjust them? Do you need to throw the goals away? Are we starting new goals? And that sort of thing. So this full moon can be highlighting anything that goes on in your Capricorn house, but also themes around success, achievement, goals, that sort of thing. So illuminating something that needs your attention in regards to those things. Hello, Editing Allison here. This video is kind of all over the place, and I think it has a lot to do with the convoluted energy that we are experiencing this week. We're having a full moon in Capricorn. We're having the beginning of Mercury retrograde, and then we're also having a Mars and Uranus conjunction at the end of the week. This is very explosive and volatile energy. Anyways, filming this video has had those characteristics as well. It's just been all over the place. So anyways, I wanted to add in here that a Capricorn full moon comes halfway through the year. So this is 6 months since you have set New Year intentions, since you have started working on your goals and intentions. So this is just a really nice check-in point to evaluate how far you've come with your goals, whether or not you still are striving and achieving those goals, or if you need to rework them or revisit them. In the Just a Phase Moon Planner, this is our gold star time of year. This is when we're looking through our goals and intentions for the year and putting a gold star on the ones that we've accomplished, no matter how small. Looking at all of the things that you've accomplished this year, even if they weren't on your original to-do list or your goal list at the beginning of the year, look back on the things that you have accomplished, because we've got 6 more months left of this year. It's been a very difficult year, and we need to acknowledge the things that we have accomplished, the things that we've overcome, even if they didn't work right with what our intentions were. This is about acknowledging where you are right now and moving forward accordingly and readjusting. And Capricorn energy can help highlight what needs readjusting, what is going to help us get to that finish line, which is the end of the year at Capricorn season. On Wednesday, when the moon moves into Aquarius, this is coming up with new ideas and new innovative ways of accomplishing your goals. So the beginning of the week has this energy of like success and achievement, and the middle of the week is like just thinking about how to go about things differently, how to open and expand your mind to encompass these big goals that you want to accomplish. On Friday, the moon will start to transition, and it's a longer transition into Pisces by 2:30 a.m. Saturday. So mostly void of course energy. Well, in the morning time, we'll still be in Aquarius. We'll have Aquarius energy to start off Friday, and then void of course time for the rest of Friday. So it kind of feels like we might need to kick out early on Friday afternoon and start the weekend. We've been having some like dreamy, imaginative Pisces weekends a lot lately, and I'm all for that. Hey, Editing Allison here again. I really don't know what happened in the filming of this video, but we forgot to talk about 2 very significant astrological shifts happening this week. One of them is happening here on Saturday, so it might not be a sleepy, dreamy Pisces fireworks weekend, but like emphasis on the fireworks. So on Saturday, July 4th, we are having a Uranus and Mars conjunction. So this is where a conjunction is when 2 planets come together in the same sign, but very close together within a few degrees of each other. So this is taking the energy of both planets plus the zodiac sign they're in, which is Gemini, and creating this reaction. And specifically speaking with Uranus, the planet of liberation and freedom and community, combined with the energy of Mars, the planet of action, war, and conflict, in the sign of Gemini, which is very playful and dualistic in nature, like not really knowing, like kind of Gemini energy is kind of a little bit chaotic in and of itself. So Uranus in Gemini has always kind of felt like a little bit chaotic to me. Uranus in Gemini can still mean like really big breakthroughs in technology and advancing and conversation and having the conversations that we need to have. But just having these two planets together in Gemini feels very explosive. It feels very much like a fireworks display, like the grand finale of a fireworks display. So this is really explosive energy. We're not just having a moon in Pisces sleepy dreamy weekend. This is big. So do what you will with that information, with those keywords of Uranus and liberation and freedom and Mars and action and conflict and Gemini. Like, do with what you will with those keywords and what that combination or concoction could conclude, but it feels very explosive to me. Okay, and one more thing that I forgot to talk about. Also happening this week, Jupiter is moving signs. So we had our last little moment with Jupiter a couple weeks ago when it made a conjunction with Venus in Cancer. Both Venus and Jupiter are now moving into Leo, or I think Venus already did, but Jupiter is now moving into Leo and will be here for a couple of years. And I really love this energy. I liked the Jupiter in Cancer. I feel like Jupiter is the sign that just, no matter what craziness is going on astrologically speaking, Jupiter is always the one to show up with good news. Like, Jupiter is the opposite of Debbie Downer. So Jupiter moving into Leo feels very promising to me. I feel like we are hopefully going to see a lot more leaders who actually want to lead and care about the people step into the limelight. I think we're going to see spiritual leaders move into the limelight. I think hopefully we're going to see a lot of political shifts for hopefully the betterment of us all, especially with Uranus being in Gemini. Like, we have to see the other side of the coin. We've seen the ugly, nasty truth of what our societies are built on, and now we need to bring in something good. We need to change that. We don't want these bad things to be taking place. We want to see more good in the world, and I think Jupiter moving into Leo is going to start bringing that energy into our culture, our society, to the world. Okay, apologies for this video being kind of all over the place, but I do want to reiterate, like, when I have difficulty filming the videos, it really does oftentimes reflect the energy of the week. So this week feels like it might be a little bit chaotic, but let's recap everything so that we've got everything happening straight. Okay, so on Monday we have our Capricorn full moon happening at 7:56 p.m. in the evening. So a Capricorn full moon, we want to kind of reflect and reevaluate the last 6 months. And at the same time, Mercury is going retrograde, but Mercury retrogrades are also a time of reflection and revisiting things. So, and having it be in Cancer, the sign that balances Capricorn out, this is reflecting on how you're working and how you're taking care of yourself so that you can be more productive in work. Capricorn is the success, achievement, and goals, and Cancer is loving and caring and nurturing. So it's how do we balance the work and the self-care, and how we want to move forward with the rest of the year, balancing those things out. On Tuesday, Jupiter is moving into Leo, so this is the positive energy that's going to be hanging out in the background for the next few years. I like to focus on the positive astrology because there's always going to be some chaotic things happening with astrology. There's always something going on with astrology. So if there are times that feel chaotic to you, come back to Jupiter. Come back to those positive elements. Look at where Leo is in your chart. Look at where Jupiter is in your chart. This is where we can create abundance in our lives while Jupiter's in Leo. Wednesday and Thursday and part of Friday, the moon's going to be in Aquarius to hopefully help us understand and grapple these things that might be coming up for us. Aquarius energy helps us to get a fresh new perspective and ideas on things that might be preparing us for the Mars-Uranus conjunction on Saturday. And I don't know, I think we kind of have to brace ourselves for the Mars-Uranus conjunction on the weekend. Yeah, I don't know, be prepared for that. So I was feeling like we needed some tough love with this Capricorn strict boundary, Saturn ruled Capricorn full moon and a Mercury retrograde in Cancer week. So I thought that we needed some tough love. We're using the Fairy Godmother Oracle because it is very much straight and to the point. And we've got victimhood. I think we're all being called out here. Hushaby tears, I'll sing you your song of fears and of sorrow. The story's so long. Misery calls, invites victim in. Self-belief crushed, no room here to win. It's no longer welcome, so show at the door. The battle is over, for you're now the victor. There, dry your tears. No need to be sad. In fact, no need to be down in the dumps at all. For as I wave my magic wand, your eyes will open to what an amazing life you could and do actually have. I realize that a few situations have not turned out the way that you have liked, but for too long now, I've watched you cry a river. Sweet one, do you not realize that you are dwelling on what has been? Stand up, shake yourself off, and reinvent your life. No more poor me. What you expect in life will indeed show up. Unfortunately, you are in a place of expecting the worst, and you are now playing that role. Very well, I might add, of the victim. You presume now that nothing will work out the way that you hoped for. You expect others to take a dim view of you, are highly sensitive to what you deem as being victimized. Need I go on? I certainly could, because all these tears are for nothing but getting you attention and pity. And it does work. However, do you really want to spend your life in a state of feeling wretched, isolated, and feeling sorry for yourself? I could even suggest that deep down you enjoy the attention. Sorry, but it's time for some tough love. That's what I said. So pick yourself up and take some responsibility for your actions. Make steps to break out of the victim's mentality and look at the lessons that could be learned. Work on eliminating feelings of frustration to expectation that someone is obliged to satisfy you. You will find by doing so that victimized, paranoid feelings that inevitably will rise will soon dissolve. And ultimate freedom will beckon as you fuel your weary mind and the positive expectations and peace it craves. This is very fitting for a Capricorn full moon because Capricorn is like, think of like the darkest, coldest days of winter. It's harsh and it's cutting and it's just, it's cut and dry. Like, that's very much the energy that this card is speaking to, of just like, hey, if you don't have what you want, then stop doing stuff to bring yourself to, like, every single thing that we have in our lives, we manifested. Every thought and feeling and idea, whether negative or positive, manifests in our life. Everything that you have is a product of your thoughts and feelings. If you're in a situation, like, this is hard truth. This is a hard pill to swallow. And I know this probably more than anyone. Coming to terms with recognizing and accepting the role that you have played in manifesting the things that are in your life is it's a harsh truth and it's a harsh reality. But what you find when you acknowledge that is you find acceptance after that. You accept where you are and you're able to do something about it. And it's just like Capricorn season that Capricorn accepts we're here in the dead of winter. Nothing is growing. Nothing's growing right now. We have to make do with what we have. We have to strive to get to the other side, which is spring. Believe that we're going to get there so that we can have more, so that we can start growing things again, so that we can start planting again. But here we are in the dead of winter, and we have to accept that. There's no changing it. It's going to be a slow progress for the sun to start getting closer and to start warming up the soil so that we can plant things. And that's what, like, Capricorn teaches us, that acceptance, that accepting where you are, but believing in where you want to go. And they just do it anyways. It doesn't matter that we're not growing anything right now. We will one day, once we get there. Once the soil warms up, once we can plant seeds in the ground again. But that's not where we are now. But we're still going to set a goal. We're still going to strive to achieve it. We're still going to try to climb to the top of the mountain. And that is the lesson that Capricorn can teach us. And that is something that can be illuminated for us when we have a Capricorn full moon. Our chakra card is a heart chakra card. So we're talking about tough love here. It's not all harsh truths and reality. Self-care. The greatest gift that you can offer those you love is the gift of your own well-being and balanced and open heart. Take some unaccounted for time to do what brings you unfettered joy. Indulge in the activities and experiences that feel most yummy to you, and allow yourself to enjoy every moment on every level. When you feel happy, whole, and complete, you create an energetic ripple that is felt in the hearts of those you love and hold dear. Today, give yourself the gift of your love. It will be a gift for everyone. So the crystal they recommend is, oh my gosh, do we have the same? We have the same crystal that's on the chakra card. Oh my gosh, so rhodochrosite is the crystal for both of these cards. How cool is that? So obviously self-care is a perfect card to be receiving for a Mercury retrograde in Cancer. I think we're really gonna be relearning things about how we approach self-care, how we speak to ourselves, and how we let others know that, like, hey, my needs aren't being met. We need to set a boundary here. I need a break. So rhodochrosite is known as the rose stone and resonates with the heart chakra. It's a healing gem of compassion, love, kindness, and self-awareness. Rhodochrosite helps you get in touch with your inner child, reminding you that you're a free, loving being with the infinite capacity to grow and learn. That sounds like an absolutely perfect stone. I'm going to have to make a note for myself to get some rhodochrosite. There's something else that I need. I want to look for Libyan tektite because that's been coming up a lot. And let's see if we can find some rhodochrosite. Writing that down. Okay, the affirmation for this card is, with self-love and kindness, I honor my inner child. My life is filled with possibilities and I find magic in the moment. Wow, what beautiful cards and perfect cards for this full moon in Capricorn. You guys, we all get stuck in victimhood. One thing that, I don't know, it's kind of a hard lesson. One thing, speaking of victimhood, like, it's easy to get stuck in that, like, oh, poor me, why does this always happen to me kind of mentality. But a lot of times, especially in the past, I've always thought, like, well, I know that somebody else is struggling more than I am. Like, and it helps you to come back to gratitude and gratefulness for the things that you do have in your life instead of focusing on all the negative. But at the same time, and I think this is probably a Mercury retrograde in Cancer lesson that we will have to learn also, is that, like, having, like, that mentality has worked for me in the past of recognizing, like, I should be grateful for what I have, and at least I don't, like I know so many other people are suffering far more than I am. But that kind of mentality also the takes you away from the equation, because and kind of I'm not really sure like what the right word for it is, but it like you do matter. You prioritizing your needs is important. Just because someone else is having a worse time than you doesn't mean that you can't take steps and actions to making your situation better. I think sometimes thinking, well, somebody else has it worse excuses the fact that like, or excuses like your own responsibility for making your life better. Because if you make your life better, you can help other people. And I don't like, I still think that it's important to acknowledge the collective pain that I think a lot of us sensitive people are feeling right now, but to not get lost and trapped in it either. And to not, and to just recognize that like you do matter, your needs matter. Just because someone else has it worse doesn't mean that your thoughts and feelings and pain isn't valid and needed to feel. So, anyways, I think this is kind of like harsh truths that we are having to accept around this Capricorn new moon, but in a loving, or full moon, but in a loving and compassionate way, which is the nature of Capricorn. Capricorn is tough and hard and difficult because Capricorn has to make it through the winter, and Capricorn has to toughen up, and Capricorn has to get to spring. So by playing the victim, like we are never going to make it to spring. You're never going to make it through the harsh, cold winter of reality if we get stuck in victimhood. And that's just the cold, hard truth of it. And that's okay. Sometimes things are hard. Sometimes life is hard. And I think that the little glimpses and glimmers of positive energy that we are going to continue to feel with Jupiter in Leo, this is why we got to get out of victimhood, because we need to be expecting that good things are coming to us. So I hope that you expect wonderful, magical things to happen in your life. Get out of victim mode. I'm speaking to future Allison as well. And thank you so much for being here. I cannot wait to see you on the other side of the looking glass again sometime soon. And excuse me, what you talking about? Well, you haven't been in any of the videos today. Odin, what you doing, baby?